You need to find her. Chapter 2. Colin Somerville woke, heart pounding, the heavy thud of cannon fire fading with his nightmare. Heavy brocaded curtains hung over the carriage windows to his left. Feeling suffocated, he shoved the curtains apart and breathed in gulps of crisp September air. Beyond the window, the sun fell gently on the green rolling hills of Shropshire. In the near distance, open pastures with grazing sheep gave way to enclosed land where turnips were growing. He fell back against the seat. He was in England, not Belgium. It was only a dream. Judging from the position of the sun, they should reach Shrewsbury by dusk. He rubbed his face with his hands, pressing his fingertips into the tight muscles at his forehead and temples. To calm his heart, he used an old trick his brother Benjamin had taught him. He focused on naming the various scents in the air: wool, newly harvested wheat, dirt, loosened to pull the turnips, and water, likely the Severn. His companion Marietta grew restless in her sleep. He stilled. She curled her hand under her chin and nestled farther into the down-filled pallet tucked into the well between the two carriage seats. Colin had bought her the thick pallet that morning at Wrexham. The gift had cost him more than he could easily afford, but her widening smile had been worth the cost. Since then she'd spent the day sleeping, her back to one seat riser, her swollen belly pressed against the other. A line of bright sunlight from beneath the window curtains shone above Marietta's head like a nimbus. But unlike the Madonnas he had seen at Rome or Venice, whose faces were lit with an internal glow, Marietta, even in rest, looked weary. The dark hollows in her cheeks, the deep circles under her eyes, the bluish undertone to her lips, all reminded him of the El Grecos he'd seen at Toledo. He thought of his sister Judith's confinements. She had never looked so ill, not with any of her 4 boys. If Harrison Walgrave had sent him to bury another woman... He pushed away thoughts of Marietta dying, reminding himself instead of how Walgrave had presented the mission. It's straightforward. Walgrave had held out the address of a cottage in Holywell, and a miniature portrait. Escort the widow of one of the Prince Regent's Habsburg cousins from the western coast of Flintshire to London. The portrait revealed a pixie face with auburn hair and emerald eyes, a sweet face, an innocent face. His gut had twisted. Leaving the items in Walgrave's hand, Colin had turned to the door. "Find someone else. I'm not your good soldier any more." "It's not that easy. I offered Berkeley and Sundon, but Prinny wants you. Apparently your work at—" Colin had paused, his hand on the doorknob, waiting for the word Brussels. The churning in his stomach turned into a wave of nausea. "Edinburgh has not gone unnoticed. The Prince Regent considers this a personal favour." Walgrave had tossed the miniature at him, and Colin had caught it automatically. "And be charming. Prinny specifically mentioned your wit and charm. I didn't tell him. You've become a scowling misanthrope." Colin resisted the sudden urge to throw the miniature at Walgrave's head and storm away. "Perhaps you should have. I'd rather be sent into the worst hell in London, where I can scowl as I please, than play nursemaid to a spoiled Habsburg princess." Walgrave had raised one shoulder in a half-shrug. "Since I could not dissuade Prinny, I at least made it worth your while." He held out an official document on heavy parchment. Colin read the contents, then folded it, all without comment. Walgrave waited silently until Colin held out his hand for the address. "After this, I'm finished. No more missions, no more death, no more lies." Walgrave had nodded his acceptance. It had taken Colin 2 days to travel to Holywell, 2 days in which he had steeled himself to smile and be charming. But ultimately the princess had charmed him. Heiress to a mining magnate, Marietta had caught the eye of a visiting and impoverished member of the Habsburg royal family. Though she had been impeccably trained at the best finishing school in Paris, when Colin arrived he found her teaching the housekeeper's parrot to curse in 5 European languages. "Don't call me princess," she whispered, casting a grim eye to the housekeeper, hovering at the edge of the terrace, "or she will..."